Manny Pacquiao being sued. Can Golden Boy make Terence Crawford versus Vergil Ortiz a boxing reality? What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Corner Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, so, man, I was going through some articles this morning trying to find something to talk about. And I ran across an article, and they were speaking about Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford, and Manny Pacquiao trying to put a Terence Crawford fight together and basically being blocked by Paradigm Sports. And if you remember Paradigm Sports, Manny Pacquiao has signed a contract with Paradigm Sports. The name Audie Attar should ring a bell because his name was tossed around a lot, you know, being linked with Manny Pacquiao and him saying that he could get Manny Pacquiao these big fights. I think Conor McGregor was the first name that they started throwing around. And then I think Conor McGregor ended up getting beat, and then they started talking about Manny Pacquiao versus Ryan Garcia, and then that kind of fell apart, and then Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford ended up coming up. And that's kind of how the ball got rolling with Pacquiao versus Spence. If y'all remember, all of this was in the same year. He was supposed to fight all these people in the you know, they were trying to put all these fights together within the same year. You know, this is I think was 2020. It was either 2019 or 2020. So, you know, Manny Pacquiao had that contract with Paradigm Sports, and nothing really came out of that. You know, the Conor McGregor fight never happened. The Ryan Garcia fight never happened. You know, they were offering Terence Crawford $10 million to fight over in, I think it was Dubai or something like that. That never happened. Terence Crawford turned it down. And then Pacquiao versus Errol Spence ended up coming up. And then the car accident. So I say all that to say this. I found it fishy that Manny Pacquiao didn't end up fighting Errol Spence, and that eye injury came up all of a sudden, and Errol Spence backed out of the fight. And I told y'all there was something else going on in the background, and I never could put my finger on what it was, but when I read this article, it all came to light. Paradigm Sports is now suing Manny Pacquiao for $20 million, stating that Pacquiao breached their contract. Now, it wasn't disclosed in the article what exactly they are considering breach of contract, because I found it strange at the time that he was already signed to PBC, but yet he signed another deal with Paradigm in the first place. So, you know, it's crazy, but I brought up the Errol Spence situation because when you think about it, would PBC have taken some type of weird loss, or maybe Errol Spence and Team Spence found out about that lawsuit and didn't want to be involved because they thought that they might get tangled up in some type of lawsuit as well, and maybe not getting paid for that fight. So maybe that's actually the reason Errol Spence backed out of that fight. And I've told people in the past that the eye injury to me was kind of a bum excuse, but hey, people didn't want to believe, and they're not going to believe this either, but they're going to say, you know, well, he fought Ugas anyway. Well, Ugas was a lower risk, and they didn't have to pay Ugas as much. That Manny Pacquiao fight would have, and Errol Spence would have generated millions and millions of dollars. Paradigm Sports could have tried to tie them up in a lawsuit over that money and could have ended up winning, because what they're saying in this article is not looking good for Manny Pacquiao to win this lawsuit. It's looking like he might have to pay upwards of $20 million to Paradigm Sports to make this all go away. So, very interesting. And if you're wondering why Manny Pacquiao was forced into retirement, you know, this is some more stuff coming out that's just being piled on top of all the other stuff that he was dealing with at the time, as far as running for president, and, you know, people saying that he should be stripped and all this stuff, and then getting stripped. So Manny Pacquiao was dealing with a lot around that time, and it's crazy that, you know, all of this is playing out this way. I hope he ends up winning that lawsuit, but according to that article, it's not looking good for Pacquiao. And PBC has distanced themselves from Pacquiao as well. I think their contracts are done, so it's not like he can solicit the help of their lawyers and their legal team. So kind of like Pacquiao's just getting thrown to the wolves, man, at the end of his career. And it's kind of a shame, man, because there's still fights I think that he could make, and really compete in, and give these young guys a run for their money. But it is what it is. So as the article went on, they went on to talk about Terence Crawford versus Vergil Ortiz, and the fact that it's looking more and more likely that Golden Boy is going to sign Terence Crawford and try to make the Vergil Ortiz fight happen next. We all know Vergil Ortiz is #1 in the WBO, and Amino Santonillos had to pull out of the WBA situation, so leaves the door wide open for Vergil Ortiz to make any type of move that he wants. And, Golden Boy is a golden opportunity for Terence Crawford. So more than likely, I don't know if Terence Crawford will sign a full contract with Golden Boy or for it to be like some type of fight-to-fight deal. But I definitely think there's money to be made for him over there, and it could be good money. And could be better money than what Errol Spence is even making with PBC, depending on the type of contract that Terence Crawford can pull out of these people. If he can pull, a fight-to-fight deal to where he's getting $10 million a fight, then, hey, he's going to end up being one of the highest-paid boxers of today. Can they actually make this happen? Will Spence try to throw some type of monkey wrench in there? We don't know. We don't know what Errol Spence is going to do at this point. He's been uber silent. It's crazy the back and forth that these two guys are having, because during the summer it was all Terence Crawford talking and all his talk about this, that, and the third, and fight Charlo, and then that never happened. And then the fall hit, it was all Errol Spence, and he beat Ugas and all that talk, and then he thought he was going to get the Spence fight, and that didn't happen. And then Terence Crawford got the $10 million for David Evanesian in the wintertime, so he's been running his yapper for like the past 2 or 3 months, and now he's quiet because his pay-per-view didn't sell but 10 copies. And then, and now, Errol Spence is quiet too. So, the back and forth between these guys has been comedy and entertaining at the same time. Can't wait to see how all this is going to play out. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Do y'all think that Manny Pacquiao has a chance with this lawsuit? Do you think Pacquiao deserves a Crawford fight? Do you think Crawford versus Vergil Ortiz is actually going to play out the way we think it is? Hit that like button for me. Share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More likely to get a response on the tube. Holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, hit my Gmail, flockofcards@gmail.com. And we are 9 hands.
Look, 1 blunt, 2 blunts, 3 blunts, 4 blunts. Now I'm high in a bitch. Nigga, 1 bird, 1/5, I'm nerd. Yo, chick, now I'm at your bitch. And I'ma admit, she looking real thick in that fit. Soon as you leave, I walk up, gripping her hips. Have her flipping the script, convince her to strip. You at home shooting free throws, flicking your wrist. But hold up, don't let me get ahead of myself. If you really wanna better your health, getting out of my area helps. What these young niggas carry, you melt your whole clique. She swallowed the whole dick, oh shit. Now let me slow down, cause I'm off the head bitch roll now. They didn't know, I bet they know now. I rep the hometown, Lewis Keys, nigga, let's go. Let's go, my West End niggas, let's go. My East End niggas, let's go. Louisville, let's go. Nigga, let's go. Let's go, nigga, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, yo, it's sorta like NASCAR. How these niggas take wheels off of fast cars, we not right. About to shine like dandruff and neon lights. Know you feel the shit that we on, right? I got your bitch and she's on pipe, taking pictures of herself. And if you're really slanging, you're snitching on yourself, jerk. So look at it that way. While I'm looking at your rat from the back way, then I'm looking for a black in the ashtray.